to the mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, poppin', locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the welcome to the mashup.
Welcome to the mashup.
I'm losing my fucking mind right now. Are you kidding me? Everything I had laid out for the mashup this morning, literally about 90 seconds before we went live, blue screen of death. It's Windows 11. How the fuck are we still having blue screens of death? And the full twos? It's gone. It's gone. Never even happened. At best, you can hope for a half twos. Maybe a 2/3 twos. You're definitely not going to get up to a 3/4 twos. It's all gone. All gone. Everything is fucking awash in the infinite void that is nothing at all.
And who do you blame for said blue screen of death?
Bill fucking Gates.
You know, I chuckle, folks, because Twos has done this to himself. You left it to the last minute, sir. You left everything to the last minute, didn't you, today? Didn't you?
What does that have to do with the fact that the unsaved Word document I had open with all of my fucking rant notes?
Guess you should have prepared, Twos. Hey?
Sean?
Sean? I started at 8:30 with
let's do another in-person mashup.
One page. Now,
I would literally, I wish you were here right now. I would
pages.
Get up.
You want to come in? You want to do this?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, folks, man. That's it. Pause it. He's going to drive the 4 hours. We're going to have a wrestling match here live on air.
Fucking t-shirt you're wearing is going to go over your head. And you're going to be getting more uppercuts that I'm going to give you so many far lefts. You're going to be begging for a far right.
I'm so upset that my hour of cramming all disappeared, and I didn't save my document and everything else. Yeah, well, that's too bad. Two's Mashup 172 here. I'm gonna get to smoothly. I'm like, how am I gonna get through 26 pages? I don't even know. I'm trying to like, whew, this is gonna be a tough. And then it's all gone. Two's does it now. It's all on me to guide said Two's through this week's mashup. Buckle up, folks, because we're gonna have some fun today. Mashup 172. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the things. If you were hoping,
there you go.
Like, share, defend with reasonable force, correct? And if you were hoping to see me on YouTube, on the SMP YouTube channel, I've been removed from there for some time because
what happened there?
I had a lady on, Debbie Moyer, talking about like things like grounding and removing stress from life, sunlight, helps with cancer. Gone. Yeah, I was like, really? That's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
Was there a specific comment? Like, did they cite a specific thing said?
They pointed to around the 50-minute mark. I didn't go check it. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, because I don't care. It's YouTube.
Well, no, but it'd be genuinely interesting if like YouTube's like, you told people they should go outside, and that doesn't really work with our business model.
I don't know. Anyways, if you're looking forward on my YouTube page, obviously you're not watching this right now, but it is up on the Mashup YouTube page. We haven't been removed from there, so hey, there it is. Make sure to share it out though, folks. It helps get the word out of what we're doing because people or groups like YouTube don't like what we have to say.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Mashup page, almost nobody, 99 and change % of you are watching it on somewhere other than the Mashup page. So the next time you're on YouTube, go check it out and maybe subscribe.
Search up. Happy Airborne Friday to all the military boys. Shout out to Jamie Sinclair.
Yep.
And any other military that is tuning in. Hey, glad to have you. Now, we got a full show, and Two's lost it all, so I guess buckle up.
Two's lost it indeed. Two's is losing his damn mind.
Shall we start with the strike going on with Air Canada? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Air mattresses go on strike, but support fails to get off the ground.
It's very
Air
chauvinist to call them that, by the way, Sean.
Air Canada canceled more than 600 flights over the past 2 days in preparation for a potential work stoppage. And Haydu said it could be days before service returns to normal. An update from Air Canada Saturday night said Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge flights remain suspended pending the arbitration outcome. And then the federal Liberal government defending its decision to intervene to resolve a labor dispute at Canada's largest airline amid criticism from unions and opposition parties that the move sides with big business. Jobs Minister Patty Haydu said Saturday that she directed the Air Canada Industrial Relations Board to order Air Canada and the union representing its flight attendants to resume operations and resolve the dispute through binding arbitration.
Yeah, so apparently there's some kind of a deal reached. I haven't seen the details on it yet, but it's just pure fucking hubris. This whole thing is hilarious. This is the same group who the unions in Canada who got rid of the two conservative anti-union bills. They were that big. It was that big push for it that helped get the Liberals over the finish line in 2015, along with a few other things. Got rid of secret ballots. Secret ballots. In this modern age, we got rid of secret ballots for union votes, and we got rid of financial disclosure, which basically gave them carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they want without actually disclosing how they're spending the money, and to do that, the implication. This is the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing. The vote, the implication. Well, your name's on this ballot and you didn't vote for the union? Ooh. That is the government levers on union everything in this country. And then those same people who've been profiting off of that broken fucking system that the government put in place gets mad when the government is pushing back and saying, you have to go back to work. You're fine when the government pushes it your direction, but you don't like it when the government pushes it the other direction. Everybody involved in this fucking sucks. You want to make $90 an hour handing out fucking pretzels and you're going to complain because you're not getting paid for on the ground time? There is a fucking lineup out the door of people who would love to have your job. And that, by the way, should be basically the only metric regarding any sort of arbitration, contract discussions, any of it. Just how many people would take that job tomorrow if it was offered to them? All of them? Oh, like, I bet you'd have fucking pilots willing to quit their job in the front of the fucking cockpit to take your job, where all you got to do is hand out the tiniest fucking 4-ounce fucking cup of fucking Coca-Cola you can possibly imagine and a napkin.
I would like somebody to keep track. Two's being sour today. How many F-bombs he drops today? Because that was like 15 in like 3 sentences. I didn't even know how he could get that. Him and Jamie Sinclair been hanging out, right? It's just like boom,
No, but
boom,
we
boom,
should.
boom, 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 boom. Anyways,
The point is
what
that
is the point?
you
Tews?
have to twist yourself into an absolute pretzel, the same kind that they don't want to serve anymore to go on strike, to justify anything involved on the union side of it or the government. Everybody sucks here, and they can all eat a bag of dicks, which they probably don't even want to serve anymore.
Massage therapist accused of sexually assaulting clients in Fort Erie, Ontario. A massage therapist in the Niagara region is facing several charges after police allege he sexually assaulted some of his clients during appointments. He was a 59-year-old man named Ivo Ivanov.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you're like, it just sounds like a fake name, hey?
Ivo Ivanov?
Ivo Ivanov. But yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy. I'd love to hear a few more details. And I'm sure, like they said, they're pretty confident that there's more people. Yeah. Like, oh, yes, I have to massage your breasts. Oh, your buttocks so firm. In Soviet Russia, breast massage you. I don't know.
Chow says Toronto will face a $107 million shortfall if feds don't provide more funding for refugee supports. Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow is speaking out after recently learning the federal government's plan to only provide a quarter of the funding the city requires to cover the costs providing interim housing for refugees and asylum seekers.
You know what? You know what they could do to address this $107 million shortfall aside from asking the government for more money? You know what they could do to get rid of this $107 million shortfall that they're incurring because they're spending $107 million housing illegal immigrants?
What, Tews?
They could just not house illegal immigrants. Problem solved.
Family pushes for inquest in Ontario. This is sad, man. Family pushes for inquest into Ontario teen's death following 8-hour wait to see a doctor in the ER. This happened back in February 2024. The family says their 16-year-old son was triaged at 10 p.m., but it would be more than 8 hours before he saw a doctor despite his mother's repeated requests for help. And, essentially, after about 30 hours, he goes unconscious and they eventually lose him. 27 hours. Sorry, 27 hours after he first arrived at the Oakville Memorial Hospital, he passed away. So they're suing.
Yeah. So part of the reason why it was the 830 thing was I kind of went down a rabbit hole on this. How many more people is it going to take? I get the fact that it's actually saving the taxpayers money because the people who need medical help, you don't actually ever have to pay for it because they just fucking die. But how many more people is it going to take before we say, hey, you know what? Maybe we're the assholes here. And maybe this system that we keep propping up is broken. And maybe we should make it legal for people to actually get the care that they need so that they don't expire unnecessarily.
So what are you suggesting?
Privatize everything. But at the very least, let's admit that this sacred fucking cow, which is our healthcare industry in this country, is not all it's cracked up to be. And the pile of dead bodies that proves that point is getting bigger every day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like once a month. Is it more than that? Once a month, we have a story come out about somebody dying while waiting at a hospital, roughly?
Dying while waiting at a hospital, malpractice. I mean, we've talked about my mom before. How many more times, right?
Yeah, the waiting room waits seem to be a growing theme, specifically on this show, because we cover it every time it happens. And
well, that's just every time we hear about it. How many?
And
times
that's that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Right?
It's every time it makes its way to the headlines. We cover
and
it
every time we see it after it made its way to the headline. So it's got to go through two filters before we even talk about it.
And it hasn't been just, let's say, Ontario, right? Now it's happened.
We've covered one in, I think,
almost every province. Yeah. Man,
yeah, let's stop calling them waiting rooms and start calling them dying rooms. And we can rechange the name once you guys fucking fix it. How about that?
Here, I want to show the picture. Northwest Calgary homeowner Kathy Kaiser says the temporary shoring installed beside her Charleswood property is inadequate, despite recent pleas to the city and contractor. Prior to Calgary's 2024 zoning change, the lot would have been restricted to a single-family home, meaning a large excavation like the one next door would not have been permitted. Imagine.
Now, just the picture really says it all. I found it really interesting that wasn't the lead picture in the article.
I agree. Yes.
But
imagine. I don't even know what to say. I was like, wow, that's something.
Like, just, whoever's thinking of buying whatever structure gets put up when this construction is finished, just keep in mind that this same care and attention to detail that they demonstrated with this shoring is also going to be the same care and attention to detail involved with your shingles, your plumbing, your electrical, whether the cupboards can fucking open and close. This is what you're dealing with. And the fact that the city isn't like there's got to be some kind of because the city said, well, you just have to sue them. But if your neighbor creates a situation where you can be on your property and face, I would say, fairly imminent danger to life and limb, there's got to be some way to step in. Like, are there no people at the city who could jump in and say, idiot, you can't do this. Everything's shut down. Fix this. Here's how you got to remediate the situation.
Well, we just
There's
covered
gotta
a
be
story.
something like
Now it was in Ontario, but you remember last week we covered the sidewalk story where they're making them tear up the sidewalk because it,
Yeah.
a public outrage. Meanwhile, in Alberta, in Calgary, you got a deep pit, like basically a road. You can imagine, like, look at it. I'll pull it back up. I was just like, this is
Like, and
I can't imagine that being right next door to you, right? Like holding up your fence.
I can appreciate the fact that we're not nearly as crazy as Ottawa is, in Western Canada. But it's got to stop where you're endangering other people. I mean, that's basic libertarianism, is that do whatever you want as long as it's not messing with anybody else. And this, I would argue, has crossed that definitive line.
Sticking close to Calgary, man charged in alleged kidnapping and Airdrie has prior child porn convictions. A Calgary man accused of kidnapping a 12-year-old boy in Airdrie had twice been convicted of child pornography-related offenses. Zane Alnor Merchant, 37, is facing 9 charges after RCMP say a child escaped an abduction when a group of teens arranged to meet the man in a to catch a predator-style scheme. His most recent charges included kidnapping, forcible confinement, sexual contact with a child, and 3 counts failing to comply with a prohibition order. It went on to say, according to investigators, the teens and the man exchanged messages over Snapchat before meeting in person near Cooper's Crossing neighborhood in Airdrie on Monday evening. The boy willingly got in the man's vehicle, police say, and the man drove off the teen. The boy was able to escape when the vehicle stopped at a red light a short time later. Multiple teens and other witnesses phoned 911, and the man was later arrested.
The fact that we have so many people casually catching predators. Like, if a bunch of 12 and 13-year-old kids can track down and catch wanted fucking child pornographers, where the hell is our police? Like, this is silly. Like, you remember like Home Alone, Three Ninjas, the sort of that idea of like the small children foiling the adults. It was a comedic sort of goofy idea.
It was slapstick. Yep.
90s. And now
great movies, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. And now it's basically the only form of justice in this country.
It's wild. Even reading the headline, like Cooper's Crossing. I maybe you don't know Airdrie, folks, but like in my time around Airdrie, Cooper's Crossing is like, I read that, I'm like, man, that's pretty wild, Like, just really hits home for me because I've been around Airdrie, got good friends there, and for that to have happened
in that
there,
area too.
yeah. Crown to seek adult sentence for Montreal teen alleged to have planned terror attack on behalf of Islamic State. A 17-year-old male is facing terrorism charges, appeared in youth court Thursday, less than 24 hours after being arrested by 40 RCMP officers at his home in Notre Dame de Grace. An investigation by the Integrated National Security Enforcement Team alleges the youth intended to carry out at least one attack on behalf of the Islamic State. His charges include participation in the activity of a terrorist group, facilitating terrorist activity, and making available property or services for terrorist purposes.
I mean, on the one hand, it's, how much longer is this going to go on for? On the other hand, if you're going to conduct a terrorist attack, I can't think of a better place.
You're talking about Quebec. I can see Vesper Summer just screaming at you right now. It's interesting.
Obviously, I'm joking.
I know you are. The thing that's interesting about it, like, is I'm like, so what was he? Like, it doesn't say what he was doing.
Well,
Like, is a terrorist attack a bomb? Is terrorist attack like what was he actually doing?
maybe he was honking the horn of a large vehicle.
I don't know. And then I don't know. Like, you think of some of the stuff that goes on and how long people wait to get into court. It's what did it say again?
Less than
24 hours.
24 hours.
He's in, and 40 RCMP officers show up at his home. Like, something serious was going down. I'd
Yeah.
like to have a few more details. Hopefully that comes out in the near future, because I'd like to follow up on that. I
Well-
just kind of be curious what the heck was going on.
Maybe a box of random items bequeathed to him by his deceased father had a rusted out improvised incendiary device in them.
On this show we love covering heists, folks.
Yeah.
Well, we got a new one. Meat heist.
Probably the best one yet.
And wouldn't you know it, $222,000 of beef was stolen. Here you go. There's the
Hey,
headline.
I am genuinely surprised that I haven't gotten a knock on my door yet regarding this. Like, I love everything beef and everything twos. Like, I'm guessing the only reason why I'm not at least a person of interest in this is because it's the same incompetent police who couldn't even figure out the fact that there's just wanted predators scrolling through Snapchat.
A trailer containing 530 boxes of boneless beef chuck roast. That was what was in there. It's all gone.
And it's Chuck.
And they haven't found them.
It's Chuck. Well, I mean, just follow your nose.
Yeah. Oh, like what? Okay, yeah, on our heist board here, on our bingo card of heist, we've had what? Cheese, now beef.
We've
covered-
had the photo of Winston Churchill,
Yes, gold.
lots of gold, jewels at a truck stop in California.
Wasn't there milk?
I think it was just cheese. I think it
Was
was
it
just
just cheese?
cheese. Yeah.
I don't know. They're. I tell you what.
I don't know. I mean, here's like, this is if you're going to put all your time and effort into executing a heist, you want to go for something that's going to be highly profitable. And in this current day and age, in this country as it is right now, there is nothing more expensive than the things you require for fucking sustenance.
Correct. Yes, food. Toronto Sun. When did Canada become so mean? That's the headline.
Always has been.
The decision by Parks Canada Board to change rules so that former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney won't be recognized as a national historic person for 25 years is so petty it borders on spiteful. It was first reported by Blacklock's reporter that the Historic Sites and Monuments Board decided shortly after Mulroney's death last year they would delay honoring him for a quarter of a century.
Yes. Just because he's a conservative. And then they brought up the fact that Pierre Trudeau wasn't even fucking cold yet, and they were already talking about renaming a mountain after him because it was a big ungainly bastard that nobody wanted to go near in the Yukon.
West Kelowna, BC denies permit for mega singer on safety grounds. The city of West Kelowna, BC has cited public safety to deny a permit for a concert by American Christian singer Sean Foyt. Of course, he was on the podcast 10 days ago, maybe. And I've been having different videos.
It was nice to get the pronunciation figured out.
Yeah, no
by the
kidding.
way.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I chuckled about that. Agreed. I'm like, how the heck does that make that sound? Anyways, doesn't matter.
Oh,
he's had a couple.
Speaking of recent podcast guests, Chase Barber, that episode you had I think Monday. Well, whichever day.
Earlier this week.
Earlier this week, you had Chase Barber on, and he ran into a bureaucratic catch-22.
Correct.
And the problem, Chase, is that you're getting yourself and the smartest people you can find to try and solve this bureaucratic quagmire. And in doing so, you're not speaking their language. You need to find a completely rampant, unapologetic fucking simpleton and send them to Ottawa. Like, where he gets off the plane, leaving a trail of saliva behind him that's still connected to his mouth. That's the kind of person you need to go to Ottawa to talk to these people. And they're just going to grunt and moan and maybe just bang on the table for a while and come up with some haphazard, indistinguished, like just illegibly written, sort of like half English, half emojis agreement. And then everybody makes their mark on it, or like maybe just like licks their thumb and puts it on the bottom of the page. And then they'll lick the window, stick the paper on the window, and that's how you get the paperwork moving forward with these buffoons.
I felt like in that, okay, on Sean Foyt, he did do a concert in Manitoba. He did do a concert, I believe, in Edmonton, or is it Saskatoon? I can't remember. It's one of the two. He just did another one. So,
Yep.
Parts of Canada saying, citing safety concerns. So the city of West Kelowna Fire Rescue RCMP reassessed the safety and security plans submitted by the organizer and determined the potential public safety risks of Christian worship music in an outdoor concert.
Yep.
Was not appropriately mitigated. So that's wild.
Yeah. I mean, how many large incidents have resulted from people singing, people, getting up in front of Christians playing G, D, and A on repeat and, putting their hands up and singing? I don't think it's ever happened.
I don't know if it's ever. I'm like, I don't know. Have you ever seen a group of
like rioting worshipers? Not for this religion. Earl brought up a really good point regarding the meat heist. He said maybe get the kids that found the pedo to look for it.
Going back to Chase Barber for a second, though, I feel like he's so close. He just doesn't understand how close he is. Right?
Yep.
Like I get it. It's $1 million or whatever it is, but you like, okay, so get it done. And then you could go on and sell your trucks and on,
Well, I mean, you can't overstate the importance of blue ocean theory when it comes to businesses. You really can't. Being first to market is such a huge advantage that what you were talking about is actually probably it's insane that he has to spend another $1 million getting into the bureaucratic quagmire, but that $1 million would probably be money very well spent.
Very well spent.
When you look
I think so.
Because when he was talking about all the potential hurdles that he's going to have by only being able to get to market a year or two from now, he's making the argument for himself, really.
I agree. The longer I talk to him, I'm like, you just need to raise $1 million. And I know that sounds a bit insane, folks, but like when he's got that many orders just sitting there waiting to go and everything's held up on this thing, it's like find a way over the next hurdle and just keep moving forward. And someday we'll be talking to Chase and he'll be a billionaire selling these trucks. That'd be my guess.
He's gonna buy his own social media thing just because he's bored.
Okay. The illegal alien truck driver who killed 3 people failed an English language assessment, getting only 2 out of 12 answers right, and identifying only a quarter of 1 of 4 highway traffic signs. It was also discovered that WA and CA issued Singh a commercial driver's license, despite not being eligible for it. Authorities in New Mexico also failed to issue ELP tests when Singh was stopped there for speeding. So this is...
Yeah. So for those of you who didn't see the video, this is the one where the dude performed a U-turn in the middle of the highway and from the right-hand lane, and then the people in the left-hand lane got halfway underneath the trailer and all died. And then here's another video of the same thing happening. I saw 3 different videos this week of somebody doing this stuff that literally I've had a class 1 for 20 years. As of this year, it's going to be, well, I can't remember what month it was that I got it, but 20 years this year, I've had a class 1. I've never seen anybody try and do this shit.
Well, you just think of like, I don't know, man. Father's been a truck driver as long as I can remember. That is about as dangerous as it gets.
Like, if you've got to turn around, you go find some side road to do something, goofy with, right? You'll go turn off of the highway onto some grid road. If the intersection's busy, you'll go past, you'll try and find a lease road. Now, this picture from Alexopolis, Ian Michael Chong, the basically engagement farmer, got AI to redraw this.
Well, there, I'll show both. This is his post on it, but he got AI to redraw the cartoonist picture. Yep.
Yeah, so that he could just post it and look like he's awesome and get some clicks and get some likes. So the next time you're looking at Ian Miles Chong's bullshit, just realize that you're funding indirectly an absolute fucking grifter. That was just egregious.
Well, I mean, we just go back to where we started, and then there's just a whole bunch of things that spurred off of a guy turning on a major highway, trying to pull a U-turn. Like, what are you doing? And it's becoming more commonplace, as Tuz is pointing out, on our highways and everything else, of the dangers that are always there. But man, like it's just, oh, there you go. There's enough. Oh, Macna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at the oncoming traffic that he did that into. And
Yeah.
this is interesting. It's impossible to identify this driver, yet truck driver pleb, you choose to troll and rage farm against the Punjabi community. I've never seen anybody do this stuff. And if the first 2 were, odds are the third one is too.
Wyatt Claypool and Max Fawcett. Here, I'll pull this up. Tuz, I assume you wanted to say something about Max Fawcett.
Well, I want it to be a proportional response to Max Fawcett. So I'm going to say something very short. He's an idiot.
Moving on. Paul Graham, he did a study of 1,452 undergrads at Northwestern in Michigan between 2023 and 2025, found that 88% pretended to hold more left-wing views than they actually had in order to succeed socially or academically.
I saw this. I absolutely saw this. When I was, I went to school at a very late age. Let's see here. I would have been almost 40 when I graduated. And we took an entire course about how evil white men were. And I was basically just like this the whole time. And there was a whole bunch of instances where after classes, somebody come up to me and they'd be like, dude, everything you said was fucking spot on, but there's not a hope in hell that I'm going to say that in this class.
Well, it said, this is some of the questions they asked. We asked, have you ever pretended to hold more progressive views than you truly endorse to succeed socially or academically? An astounding 88% said yes. 78% of students told us they self-censor on their beliefs surrounding gender identity, 72% on politics, 68% on family values, and more than 80% said they had submitted classwork that misrepresented their views in order to align with professors. And then it said, perhaps most telling, 77% said they disagreed with the idea that gender identity should override biological sex in such domains as sports, healthcare, or public data, but would never voice that disagreement aloud.
Yeah. So that's not just the people who think that. It's the people who think that, but would never say it. is
Correct.
77%.
Yes. Yeah. We have seen a lot of different videos on social media. I think of Billboard Chris going around to different campuses, and some of the times he'd
Mhm.
talk to a student, and they'd be like, I just can't talk to you because if I do and I get spotted, I'll get ostracized in the
Yep.
school or in the
Yep.
classroom or around, and you're like, man, that's pretty wild stuff. All right, castle law. Okay. We've all seen this story, I think.
We got just a couple more. I think you missed a couple. The graves that have not been found. So Alana Kelly from the CBC had tweeted that 41 more graves had been found, despite the fact that it was just disturbances. Ground penetrating radar found disturbances. And she actually went so far as to shut her account down. But I mean, like, was it did we talk about this last week? I can't remember. It was right on the cusp.
We didn't.
Okay. All right. So 41 anomalies were found at another former residential school site. And it was misreported by several people as being actual graves. It got community noted. It got pointed out thoroughly. So far, no graves have been found. And yet, you've got BC, the legislature holding their flags at half-mast for this. We have more Epstein files than we have graves.
That's saying something. Do you have anything else? Because I feel like you're jumping way ahead of me. Because somewhere in the notes I have this, but hey, what do I know?
No.
I have all my stuff sitting here.
Oh, that's fine.
You had blue screen of death, but hey, it's the Twos show today. It seems. Anything else, Twos, you want to bring up, or can I continue on?
Let's go to castle law.
All right. The Kawartha Lakes Police Service has faced criticisms for charging a 44-year-old man after an altercation that left the alleged intruder with life-threatening injuries Monday morning in the small town northeast of Toronto. Police have provided few details, but say the resident is facing charges for aggravated assault and assault with a weapon, and the intruder, who is also facing charges, was airlifted to hospital afterward. This article was debating it, right? And it said, under Canadian law, individuals have the right to defend themselves and their property, they wrote. However, it is important to understand that these rights are not unlimited in Canada. The law requires that any defensive action be proportionate to the threat faced. This means that while the homeowner do have the right to protect themselves and their property, the use of force must be reasonable given the circumstances.
What do you think?
Well, you break into somebody's house. I like castle law. Simple as that. I got 3 young kids, a wife.
Mhm.
I don't want to have to think about, am I being proportionate? You break into my house, especially when you start assaulting me. Yeah, I think, yeah, like the United States, bingo. I just pull up the video of the police chief in, what was it, Chicago or was it Florida? It might have been Florida.
I think it was Florida.
Yep.
It
just pull
definitely
that
wasn't
up.
Chicago.
Just pull that up. Florida. Done. That's what I think.
That's bang on. This whole argument about reasonable force, it's not a reasonable fucking situation. You're at home, in your home, asleep, and somebody breaks in. It's not, well, I don't know if what you're using is proportional or reasonable. It's not a reasonable situation. So the idea of reasonable has completely gone out the window. I am not going to apologize to Mrs. Twos because she got raped because I was using kid gloves on some guy who broke a fucking window and came in the middle of the night. Okay? A reasonable response to somebody who breaks into your house is, if and when you decide to call the cops afterwards, you hand them a Ziploc bag full of the guy's fucking toenails. Here's how it is if I decide to spend the next 6 days chasing you around in a fucking elaborate labyrinth in my basement full of glass shards and booby traps, where the only thing to eat and drink is water I imported from Africa and my ex-wife's cooking, That's a decision you made the minute you decided to step on the trapdoor that dropped you into my murder basement. That's it. Okay? There's no fucking discussion about what's reasonable or not. You don't know. Are they filling out a survey when they break into your house? Like you just post it by the door. Can you please just elaborate on what, if any, weapons you have? Is there anybody coming to help you? What's going on? You don't fucking know until it's too late. You can't take the fucking chance. This is insane. We don't need castle law in Canada. We need Frank Castle law.
Yeah. There's a few me and Twos agree on a lot, but there's few things that I'm just like, yeah, you go break it into somebody's house. The laws in Canada are messed up. The fact we're having a debate about it is
insane.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get on to a few different goofy. Well, actually, yes. Let's get on to a few different goofy things.
Quite a lot of goofy.
Okay.
As is tradition.
Disney's Boy Trouble. This is a headline. Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men amid Marvel Lucasfilm struggles. Twos, your thoughts on how Disney could win back men?
They need to apply the mashup model. What if we just started making movies that didn't suck? What if we went back to that? What if we just... Well, I mean, I love how this article ended. I don't know if you saw this or not. But this is an executive that works at a competing company. He says, I never thought I'd say it, but it looks like Disney is going to have to start trying.
I could have swore I read it all, but I missed that line. They're going to have to start trying. Is that what it said?
Yeah. Like, what if we just, like, because everybody keeps talking about like superhero fatigue and everybody's just tired of superhero movies. No, we're tired of shitty movies. I would love to go see a good superhero movie. I would love to go see a decent superhero movie. Actually, I did that. I went and saw Superman.
Was it any good?
It was it wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't phenomenal.
Yeah, but that doesn't make me want to go see it. I'm just gonna wait
until
it comes out.
It was by far the best superhero movie I've seen in years.
Yeah, that isn't saying much though. That really isn't saying much. Is it better than Man of Steel?
It's completely different than Man of Steel.
Yeah, see, that doesn't right there. I go, I just don't want to see it.
Think Ant-Man. If you liked Ant-Man, and granted, they're both Edgar Wright movies. If you liked Ant-Man, you'll like Superman.
No, I liked Man of Steel. Right? Like I liked that version of it.
Well, yeah, because it's 2 hours and 22 minutes long. It's like perfect.
It was just well done. And Henry Cavill was great, right? Mm-hmm. The storyline was great. Russell Crowe was great. Okay. Actually, and Kevin Costner too, right?
Yeah, which, I mean, you haven't really been able to say that about anything he's been in since Dances with Wolves, so that was kind of a nice turn.
Montreal mayor wants Quebec to appoint homelessness minister. How do you know you have a problem in society when you want to appoint a homelessness minister?
This country's in shambles, dude.
Yeah. All right. BC Junk Removal Company accused of illegally dumping garbage. The city of Maple Ridge, BC confirms that a company seen dumping waste and hazardous material in forested areas has been fined and has cleaned up the mess. Yes. Look, this isn't even trying. This is right on a major highway. They just back up.
On the one hand, I'm really inclined to believe that the owner said that somebody, a former employee who has since been terminated, took the vehicle, loaded up a bunch of garbage, and just dumped it.
Correct.
And
so you're thinking lazy employee because it's just ridiculous where they dumped it.
Well, it is ridiculous.
And if it was an actual company being like really nefarious about it, they would have picked somebody that was somewhere that was a little more,
Yeah. Well, I feel like if I was a business owner who was trying to avoid a $200 dump fee or whatever it was, but still charge the client for it, I would say, look, take this. You're going to go down this road, hang a right. Do not dump this while you're on pavement.
It's ridiculous. Like, look, you're like, he literally just backed off a highway, pulled in, and just poof, off we're going. And then, of course, insanity and just ensues. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. You probably find a more clever way, a better way of keeping it out of the public
Now,
eye.
having
Instead-
said that, professional drivers in this continent have definitely gone downhill over the past several years. Maybe he was under explicit instructions to do that and somehow managed to fuck it up.
It's possible. It's possible. Okay. Passenger stuck on delayed flight to Seattle gets an unexpected concert from jazz band. I tell you what, I don't know how many flights. Like so Matt Ehret was supposed to be on the podcast. For anyone waiting for Matt Ehret, an EM Berlin game, that's getting now pushed a week because Matt Ehret was stuck trying to get back to Montreal. He had, I swear, every time I talked to him, it was straight out of planes, trains, and automobiles. Like it just, I'm like, where's John Candy? Is he going to enter into this story? And this is just becoming more and more.
Actually, this is more Home Alone than Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Sure. Fair. All I'm saying is like, it's becoming more of a common occurrence that every single flight is delayed. Every single flight has problems. You never get on a plane and just go. And these people on this plane in particular at least had a little bit of fun with it as a jazz band, jammed out on the plane.
Yeah. I mean, no, were they good?
I have to assume they were better than nothing. And I have to assume they weren't like,
maybe,
oh, man,
maybe
this
not.
sucks.
I mean, this, depending on their skill level, this could almost be a terrorist attack. Like, it's just because you own an instrument doesn't mean that you need to take it as carry on. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of a fun,
I tell you what, if
story.
if the mashup tried bringing you get on the plane with the mashup and we pull out the old jazz band, probably you don't want us to start playing. Okay, that probably wouldn't be good. I assume these guys were just fine.
All right. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying, don't take this as a carte blanche for your garage band to just
start going.
Yeah.
Citing rising costs and need, Maritime Electric amends its $427 million fossil fuel generator plan. Maritime Electric has amended an application before the Island Regulatory and Appeals Commission to spend close to $500 million to boost electricity generation on Prince Edward Island. The utility says prices have risen since it prepared its initial cost estimate submitted last December. While the need to boost the supply of electricity available to power the island and homes and businesses through the winter has become even more urgent. Initially, the utility said it wanted to spend $427 million to build 150 megawatt of generating capacity on PEI, most of that powered by fossil fuels rather than renewable sources of energy. But in filing on August 14th, the utility told IRAC that it had received a time-sensitive offer to join NB Power to secure 250 megawatt combustion turbines to be installed in Charlottetown at a cost of $334 million. I mean, the story goes on and on and on, Twos.
Well, I thought it was really interesting that at one point they talked about how the demand had been so high that they were forced to rely, or that that they had to get ancillary power from renewables. So they don't even consider that part of their main grid. The big important thing, though, part of the reason the province's push to have more islanders switch from oil furnaces to heat pumps. The urgency is driven by the increasing customer reliance on electricity for space heating. And Maritime Electric may be unable to supply sufficient energy during system peak periods. So everybody get your free heat pump. It's going to be fine. There's not going to be any issues. Get your heat pump. Enjoy your heat pump. Oh, wait.
Did you notice how many times it talked about polar vortex? polar vortex weather. It was. I don't know if you noticed this. -24. It was polar vortex.
Polar vortex.
It said it like 3 or 4 times in the article. I'm like, oh my. It was winter, folks. It was winter.
Mhm.
Anyways,
have you ever seen that book, A Prairie Boy's Winter or whatever?
a
There was the
Prairie
one-
Boys winter.
There was one, A Prairie Boy's Summer, and then there was Prairie Boy's Winter, and it was
Sure. Okay.
like I don't know. I remember seeing it as a kid, and it basically just talked about some kid in Saskatchewan and what their kind of life was like, but it was in the way back times when I was a kid. And there was one picture in there of like a few power poles with this, or I can't remember if it was power poles or the side of the house, but the snow was like 20 feet high. And we don't have that. We haven't had that for years. We haven't had anything close to that. But if you look at this book that was written, I don't know, probably 10 years before we were born, about this guy reminiscing about his time as a kid, that was just a regular picture in that book.
One
And
of
now
the
we
final
talk about polar vortexes.
one of the final quotes in the article said, "The risk of rotating power outages is very high, as winter temperatures will not have to drop to the levels of the 2023 polar vortex to experience the same system loading." So they're worried about having rotating power outages in PEI this fall,
Which is
slash
great
winter.
considering the fact that if the power goes out and you have a heat pump, you're going to fucking freeze to death.
Alberta expands COVID-19 shots coverage for health workers, but calls grow for wider access. Calls are growing louder in Alberta. Are calls growing louder in Alberta?
There are individuals who are yelling louder.
Sure.
I don't know if calls are growing louder, but I think this is great. We should have almost had this as the happy news.
Yeah, so I'll read it here for Albertans listening in or tuning in. Calls are growing louder in Alberta for the COVID-19 vaccine to be covered free of charge for all residents following the province's decision Tuesday to partially reverse its vaccine policy and expand coverage to some healthcare workers. Premier Daniel Smith has said the aim of the new policy was to prevent wastage after some $135 million was spent on unused doses. She also pointed out that other vaccinations come with an out-of-pocket fee. Madison McKee, press secretary to Health Minister Adriana Lagrange, did, however, emphasize that the vaccine will remain voluntarily, highlighting the government's position while details on eligibility, scheduling, and administration fees continue to be finalized. The province says it had ordered 485,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine for the fall, about 250,000 fewer doses than were administered last year. Local pharmacies will not receive COVID-19 doses under the new plan, with vaccines only available through public health clinics in a phased delivery. The government hasn't finalized how much other Albertans will need to pay. An estimated cost to buy each shot is $110.
I think if we've got government employees who at this stage in the game still feel as though they need to be as fucking vaccinated as possible,
we should give them to them for free.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a problem that's going to solve itself.
I was reading this and I'm like, me and Twos are going to agree on your punchline. I'm like, just then she wants it, just give it to her. Like, just have at her. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, if you want to get vaccinated, like knowing everything that's out there now, if you still feel as though you need to be super extra mega vaccinated, and it just so happens that you're also somebody who works for the government, which means that you're a fucking liability to this province, and you're somebody who's looking down the barrel of getting a defined benefit pension for the rest of your life, I hope you get as many vaccines as you want.
Irate man hurled racial slur, spit at Tim Hortons employee in Mississauga.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I get it.
Renting versus buying. Is renting for life really that bad?
Yes, it is. Quit telling us we're going to eat the bugs.
CBC, there's a video. Basically, it's there. Oh, you're going to show up. You want to show up? It's talking about player.
Those sorts of slogans and attacks and repetitive more of the same. Polyev, I think he can't help himself. I think it is not good strategy to go to what didn't work during the election to beat on the same horse. I think if there's ever a time to be collaborative and to work together in a bipartisan way, would be at the beginning of a mandate when there's a national crisis.
There's always a national crisis. Have you noticed that for the past 10 straight years, we have gone from one national crisis to another? And maybe if you're a little bit stupid, you might think, wow, the Liberals have done a great job of getting us through this string of crises. But if you're a tiny bit more cynical, you might look at it and say, why the hell is it that whenever this party's in charge, there's always another fucking crisis? And the people telling Polyev that it would be better for him to tone it down and that things would go better for him in Parliament if he just wasn't so on point, they're the people who don't have his best interests at heart. And Polyev wasn't doing that during the election. That was the big difference. The guy who ate an apple and made the media look like jackwagons, he disappeared 2 months before the election. If Polyev wants to win, he needs to start eating apples again. That's what's up.
We should get a rooster eating an apple.
It might seem as though it's tacit endorsement of the Conservatives, which I'm not.
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Okay, then let's just get a shirt that says Jackwagon.
All right.
Okay. Missing Texas woman, Cara Taylor, found living in lost African tribe in Scotland.
Yep.
Okay. A woman reported missing by her family in Texas has been found living amongst a lost African tribe in the Scottish woodlands. The Kingdom of Kubala claim they have settled in a forest in Jedburgh with the intention of reclaiming the land that was stolen from their ancestors in the Highlands 400 years ago. The trio consists of a group leader, King Ateen, he's 36, who was previously an opera singer under the name of Kofi Affa, his wife, Queen Nandi, and their handmaiden, Asnat. There you go. There's the king right there.
So, missing Texas woman found living with African tribe. Sorry, I think I said that wrong. Found living with a frickin' tribe in Scotland. So, this African tribe claims that the Highlands of Scotland is their ancestral home that was taken away from them 400 years ago, which would have been the 1600s. In the 1600s, they had their ancestral home in the land of pubs, needless fights, and Scotch whiskey taken from them. This thing is so ridiculous on so many levels. Like here, this one picture, I think, does a great job of encapsulating it. And I love how this article is just deadpan the whole way through. It just talks about it and just lays it all out without pointing to any of the obvious shortfalls in logic or reasoning. The missing American woman gave an offering of Earn Brew, a Scottish soda, and shortbread sticks to the so-called King Atahini. I know if I ever meet a king if I ever meet a king, I'm going to offer them a Dr. Pepper and some fucking Ritz crackers.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. I want to. Do you think this is a real picture? I just want to know.
Yes.
Is that real?
Yes, I believe that's a real picture.
Okay. Wild pigs in California develop bright blue skin after exposure to pesticides with rat poison. Swarms of wild pigs in California develop blue flesh after ingesting pesticides containing rat poison, and officials warned other common game animals may also be infected.
Yeah, apparently all their innards are blue sometimes as well. So, I mean, pigs are just resilient bastards, hey? And so, yeah, rather than dying, which is what a normal animal would do, Just like, no, we're going to look like that coffee cup from the 90s.
Yeah, okay. Well,
You know
hey,
exactly which coffee
I
cup
know
I'm
what
talking
I know what
about.
you're talking about. The other thing, you remember wasn't it Body Break? What was the guy who wore the skin
Hal Johnson and Joanne
the
McLeod.
suit and with all the body parts on it? I feel like that kind of looked similar to that.
Oh, that was Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, latest ledger poll. I'm gonna pull it up here. Maybe if my computer works.
I got it. Here you go. The latest ledger poll as far as
Quebec as Quebec.
Quebec provincially.
Yes. So the PQ they have at 84 seats, up 81, and the CAQ at 0 seats, down 90.
Yes, the CAQ party is the current governing provincial party in fucking Quebec, and they lost that by-election where they went from 57% to 5%.
I think it was 7, wasn't it? 50 something to 7%.
The point is they lost 90% of their support in that by-election. And now the latest poll modeled out has them getting exactly 0 seats. So yeah, I think we gotta I gotta pick Vesper's brain about this because obviously I'm not on the up and up as far as all of that chicanery goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here is Nadine Ayoub has been crowned Miss Universe Palestine. This year marks the first time Palestine will be represented at Miss Universe 2025.
Would it be bad for me to say that she's a bombshell?
Why would that be bad? She's a good-looking woman.
Because she's from Palestine.
Okay.
Bombshell. Is this thing on?
Oh. Welcome to Sean being dense on Mashup 172.
How about
somebody's
she's an
laughing?
absolute rocket. Okay, bring back those weapons of mass destruction she's got going on there, Sean. Palestinian women are great, but they're not really known for hand jibbers.
You know why Deuce gets annoyed with me? He has these zingers, and I just move on.
I'm just saying, like, if you dated her, I'm sure there would be a lot of banging.
You know,
maybe you could get her to show.
I go visit Tooze,
maybe.
You may wonder, folks. I wonder if Tooze, in the off hours is the same way. No, or yes, folks, he is the same way. He never stops. It's just over and over. So you eventually just tune it out because you're just trying to have a conversation, and he's just constantly trying to throw zingers over and over. Mrs. Tooze knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm just wondering if she has a Gaza landing strip.
Play the video twos of our favorite comedian.
I don't know. I could keep going, but sure, whatever, fine.
In all of Ireland, this is St. Mary's Well in County Mayo. As you can see, this well is absolutely enormous. Unfortunately, it's hard to tell because I am also enormous. This is the inside of it, very mystical. It's said that the ancient Druids could see into the future if they stirred this magical water with a wooden wand. It's after telling me I'm going to have a lovely big dinner tonight. It's after telling me that Mayo will win the Sam Maguire in the next 63 years.
I have no idea what that means.
Hallelujah. I tried stirring it for another while, but it wasn't fucking giving away much. I think it was tired. Now, I'll be honest with you, it took me a while of stirring it to get the future out of it, so be warned, you might have to stir it into soft peaks before it'll give you anything. It is said that Mary appeared at this well around 1680. Now, I've been waiting here for about 20 minutes hoping she might come back, but I do need to go and get a sandwich, so I don't think I'll be seeing her today. I hope you've enjoyed the most magical well in Ireland as much as I have. Follow me. I'm delicious. Shut up to fuck you, sheep.
I just love the guy.
After we get done with this, I'm gonna message him again because he was he said he would come on, and then of course, he was traveling at the time to the United States,
Mhm.
and I should follow back up on that and see if we can't get him on. Calgary's Philharmonic opens season with unique mashup of dance music and orchestra.
I've got no problems with people using the mashup concept,
Mm.
but I'm sick and tired of everybody using the word. Dairy Queen has the mixing bowl mashup flurry that you can get now.
You think we're spurring this on, too? Is that what you're saying?
Gatorade has
As
started
mashup.
combining flavors and calling them the mashup. Like, I want a quarter every time somebody drinks that fucking Gatorade.
We are stirring the drink in society, big fella.
Yep.
Swatch. I'm going to pull this up.
Ooh,
Okay.
I guess we're going out of order. That's fine. Yep. Yeah. Sure.
Swatch issued a public apology on social media after a slanted-eyed image sparked outrage in China. The offensive image has since been removed and an apology issued.
Yeah. I mean, like it's crazy to think that they got so offended by it, but let's be honest. The people of China look at the world through a completely different set of eyes.
CBC, people often
Is this thing on?
CBC, you want me to laugh at every joke you have? Is that what you want? Is that
Well, the problem I can't even.
you
tell if
realize
you
the
got
jokes are
joke.
for the people watching, not you understand that, right?
Well, yes, but I can't ever tell if they land or not because I'll just be like, "Well, Sean just didn't even blink," and then I thought it just went over like a lead balloon, and then I'll hear from
That's
somebody
what
later
comments are for. And that's why you bring them up. And that's why you bring up, oh, Twos, you're so great. So great. You're amazing. Pat on the back.
Oh,
CBC, people often miscalculate the impact of climate choices like owning a dog. It went on to say dogs are big meat eaters, and meat is a significant contributor to climate change. I can't believe this is a CBC article, to be honest.
Really?
I can believe.
What? Like this is exactly what you would expect from the government-funded media. The only thing that's missing here is maybe just like a cleverly placed plug for cricket-based dog food.
Sticking with animals, PETA demands Nintendo remove nose ring from cow character on Mario Kart.
Yes, so that's it. That's basically it. Just PETA is straight up fucking retarded. And it's really interesting if you actually ever get into it. I think there was a whole documentary about it, if I remember correctly. But PETA's main thing that they spend most of their time doing is euthanizing animals.
5 of 8 Yukon Liberal MLAs have announced that they are not seeking re-election this fall.
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to have to cover it. But it's really interesting that now keep in mind that there are a lot fewer MLAs because there's a lot lower population, right? But 5 of the 8 liberals have said, yeah, we're out. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up in the coming months.
Marius Borg Hobie, I probably tortured that name, son of Norway's son of Crown Princess, son of Norway's. Really? Do you want to say it one more time?
Okay, look, it's not that difficult. It's Marius Borg Hobie. That's how you pronounce the. It's like you've never been to. It's pathetic.
Okay.
Get on a plane.
Son of Norway's Crown Princess indicated on multiple charges, including rape, and faces up to 10 years in prison. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're going to jail for rape, you better be face up. But look at this guy. This is a picture of Hubie, and dude looks like if Draco Malfoy had a baby with Steven Seagal. Like, you just look at that guy and you're like, that's obviously a rapist.
Okay. Well, okay. Sure, Twos.
Well, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Hubie is a bad dude. Bad dude.
You want to show the German shopping cart return championships? I kind of want to.
That's why it's on here.
I want to. Now I'm kind of curious to tune into it myself.
Now, I don't know if we're going to show the whole thing, but
No,
this
just
is
just
an
show a
actual
clip.
Ich muss
competition.
jetzt also einen aufholen.
Ja.
Und der sieht auch nicht schlecht aus. Der war richtig gut sogar.
Aber kerzengerade wie beim
genau.
Aldi.
Bravo. Amazing.
Ja, super.
Amazing. Here we go.
Weiß nicht, ob er das beim Aldi gemacht. Entweder Ausgleich
Man merkt,
oder
wir
sie
sind
macht
richtige
viel und
Hausfrauen,
behält
ne?
ihre vier.
Ja.
Und wir
Geht
sind
auch.
ja
Hätte jetzt von dir gar nicht
Sie
so
hat
gedacht,
noch
dass du das so
drei.
gut kannst.
Oder noch zwei.
Dankeschön. Sehr nett
So.
von dir.
Nein, nicht böse gemeint.
They're shit talking each other.
Jetzt geht's.
Oh, and she makes it.
Bravo. Bravo. That
So-
has to be some like game show that they're just joking around. Like that can't be
No,
serious.
like, are you not looking at like it's the National Einkaufswagen Parking.
See, I laugh at some
on a
things, too.
plane.
I laugh at some things. You know, be funnier. I can't afford $800 a month. Ontario driver with credit issues finds car ownership too expensive. Yeboah said she bought a 2016 Mazda CX-5 3 years ago, but had a credit problem when she made the purchase and received her loan. Her contract shows she borrowed $40,000. The vehicle had interest rate of 12.64%. Over 6 years, the cost of borrowing is $17,000, bringing the total cost to $57,000. And they go on to complain about it.
In 2022, she bought a 2016 Mazda CX-6, which is a SUV crossover, for $40,000. Now, at the time, that would have been a 6-year-old vehicle. New ones start at $32,500. A new CX-6 in 2025 costs you $32,500 and up. Okay, so ballpark, she would have been lucky to have bought that. Like, she paid $40,000 for what maybe if she bought a top of the line, super low mileage 2016 at the time, might have been half that value. Maybe don't be fucking retarded.
Yep.
The article isn't about how expensive it is to live. It's how expensive it is to be stupid.
Popular new Edmonton Oilers defenseman pledges to make one big change to his game. We're talking about Luke Prokop. What would you like to say, Toos? I feel like you got something clever here.
Well, I just think this is great. I mean, you look at this guy, first openly gay person signed on with on track to make it to the NHL, and
he's playing in the AHL.
Yep. And with prospects of whose farm team is he?
With the Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton Oilers. I think that's great.
That's it.
I think it's
I expect
people should be able to live their life where they're happy. And I can't think of a better culture fit for this guy than the Edmonton Greasers. Edmonton Baby Oilers.
How this former MVP found a new life communicating with the dead. Anything?
What do you mean anything? You got to get into this. You got to get into this at least a little bit.
We'll get into it, too. Tell me what sticks out to you. I'm curious.
Well,
this is where I wish Vesper's on. I was like, why the heck are we talking about this?
So this is a former NDP.
Yes.
MPP.
Yes.
Who is now and it's incredible. So this woman who
it's incredible. Yes.
All right. So she has Afrikaner and Jewish roots. You can tell by the picture of her. The article is just this wonderful distillation of everything NDP. And I'm so glad that I got to to check it out. She found while she was a politician that after a while she was able to predict what the reporters were going to ask her in terms of questions. And then she followed that a little bit further and realized that she could communicate with dead people. And there's this one anecdotal story about how she wrote down some stuff that ended up being right. And of course, she encounters skeptics and she understands, but she has converted them before, even those she thought would never understand: doctors, lawyers, economists. Because of my evidence-based background, you were an NDP politician and you have a background in evidence-based empirical data, like economics. This is really interesting. Now, where is it? Sorry. Oh, shoot. Give me 1 second here. Sean, filibuster for a moment.
We're always waiting on twos, aren't we, folks?
Well,
Let's talk about the MPP.
Okay, yeah, go
who
ahead.
was who once was an academic who did one term in politics and now says she can help you connect with long lost loved ones. No one
Here we go.
cares.
Yep.
No one cares.
No. This is great. This is peak Canadian journalism. She shared a story of a cynic who was referred to her in hopes of connecting her with her deceased twin sister. The sister, who was alive, was unmarried with no kids. The deceased sister had kids. Okay. Connecting her with her deceased twin sister. The sister who was alive. Those sentences are back to back. Not only is she dead, but she also was alive.
So if two should have said, we want to pick apart the grammar of this article. That's what you wanted to do. That's what you wanted to do.
No,
That's what you
the
want.
whole story is just absolutely silly. It's just ludicrously silly, Sean.
I know it is.
Finish,
I'm not saying it's not ludicrously silly. I'm like, why are we?
It's just that it was written by a fucking retard.
Gonna spend 5 minutes talking about an irrelevant story. Irrelevant. Except it's Two's weekly grammar. What the heck is going on in writing? And when you put it that way, then I understand.
This is a guy who is an institute in Canadian journalism. He just launched his own podcast. You should go check it out. I'm sure there's going to be more whiz bangers like this one.
Show the video of the U of T press conference.
All right. Now this, by the way, says Canada in a nutshell. I can't think of a better caption.
On behalf of the University of Toronto and our partners here at Electra, it's my pleasure. Okay.
Everything's fallen.
I love how she puts it back up, but only most of the way up, and it immediately falls back down again. Like she has no idea how fucking pedestals work.
Man. Okay. I noticed we didn't talk just before we go to happy news. Did you have any thoughts on Trump having all the NATO leaders in, Carney not being there, or being like a little speck on the screen?
I got really frustrated with it. I had found this tweet that had gone viral on leftist Twitter, and it refreshed before I could bookmark it, and I couldn't remember the guy's name, and I spent all this time trying to find it. But basically, he said that he has never been more proud, or that he's never seen something as awesome or something like that, as Mark Carney getting sidelined in this summit. Like there was entire meetings, the photo where he wasn't there. Dude wasn't irrelevant. Really a spec. He was a guy that got pushed into a fucking broom closet. And you've never been more impressed with anything in your life? Like, what about indoor plumbing? Huh? How about that? How about the fact that we put somebody on the moon a few decades ago? If you're into that sort of believe in it, sort of thing. Yeah. Like there's so many things. You've never been more impressed with something? Have you never watched From Dusk Till Dawn?
you know, of all the things that have come out this week, and there's been a lot, right? I think the home invasion was a not a huge story because once again, how many times are we going to cover a similar thing
Well, this
on?
is kind of a big one, but I mean, it's
But
been
like
talked about forever. Like, if you look at it, just a sec, if you look at literally Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell, there's a whole chapter in there, or well, a whole section about how criminals respond to economic incentives, and he specifically points at the low number of home invasions in Texas, where people love guns and there's castle doctrine, versus the incredibly high number of home invasions in Great Britain, and how they got even higher after they banned firearms.
Well, I just, you know, when you're thinking about where Canada sits on the world stage, and you have, you know, Putin
the back.
come to Alaska, you know, meet Trump there, then Trump meets with pretty much all of the EU. Zelensky's there, everybody's there, right?
Mhm.
And Canada's nowhere to be found. If you want any more of a clear indication on where we sit right now, I think that just there, it's done.
We're at the kids' table.
Yeah, I don't even know if we're at the kids' table. I don't even think we're in the building. We're not even there, man. It's just it's just sad, honestly. Just sad. You know, you watch it and you're like,
we've basically become the WNBA of countries.
let's do some happy news. You got you want to talk the golf tournament, or do you want me to bring up the Oklahoma first?
Oklahoma first, then golf.
Okay. Oklahoma to test teachers from New York, California to guard against radical leftist ideologies.
Yeah. So they've got to write a test to basically find out if they're crazy or not before they'll bring them on as teachers in Oklahoma. So if you want,
I would think I would think even by doing that, they're going to
discourage a lot of people.
That's right. As soon as you got to do that.
Yep.
Yep.
And it probably, I'm guessing, I'm not a huge expert on Oklahoma, but I'm guessing it kind of sets things up for them to have a definitive legal recourse for removing them if they try and do a bunch of weird shit in the
You're
classroom.
probably right.
Is probably more what it is that they can say, well, look, these are the standards that we adhere to. These are the beliefs we have. And if you're agreeing with them, fine. And then if they come in and they want to do a whole bunch of weird stuff with, you know, if they want to bring in the kind of books we've been talking about in Canada or something like that, they say, look, you said that you weren't about this, and you are. So obviously you lied, and you can't work here no more.
Golf tournament. You had an update.
The golf tournament that we were talking about last week in the community notes. So 71 players raised $35,000 for the Heart Charity.
Well, and as we told everybody last week, you know, you got different events like that coming up. Certainly Tuesday night can't make everything, but if you give us runway time, there is usually the opportunity of a possible. Well, there's a possibility of us making it, because we'd love nothing more than to come and say hello to different people everywhere. And I'm happy to hear they raised a bunch of money. That's pretty cool.
Now, to be clear, us mentioning it in the community notes had nothing to do with how much money they raised.
Correct. That is correct. Yeah, we had nothing to do with that. I'm just saying,
had literally zero effect on the outcome of that tournament. However, it's very much it's very important to point out the fact that they raised $35,000.
Yes. Community notes. We forgot to say this right off the hop. If there is anything coming up, contact one of us. We'd love to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I got some Quick Dick McDick is coming to Lashburn here this fall, so I'm gonna have some details on that right away. That's a fundraiser for an elementary school, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be making sure we talk about that a bunch. It sounds like John Carpe and the JCCF is coming to Lloydminster as well. So when I get more details on that, I'll be sharing that as well. Is anything from your end?
Yeah, the Crossfield Demolition Derbies this weekend. They'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. It's a huge event. There's a cabaret afterwards. It's the big event of the whole area for the summer.
Sick, Kevin, I'm not coming. If you're not...
And Kevin Kevin says blowjob seminar at Hillmond Memorial Hall Saturday at 11 a.m. All are welcome except Sean Newman.
Message received. That'll do it for Mashup 172. As always, we're here every Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard
To be
Time.
clear, it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Jiu-Jitsu,
seminar.
yes. BJJ, yes.
I'm guessing Rutherford's going to be there.
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, every Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we go through the headlines that never cease to amaze me. I don't know. It just carries on. 172 mashups, man. Yeah, the trend of doing the headlines and seeing it just kind of slowly play out. Either way, if you enjoy the show, make sure you retweet it on X, specifically X. Like, get us out there, folks. Help us out. Appreciate it. If you follow on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. Make sure you're hitting the little icon that reminds you when we go live. All those great things. Michelle Krieger says, don't forget the Prairie Rising Forum in Regina in October 18th.
Yeah. And for the record, Sean, you see, it was Bombshell because she's Palestinian and they got a thing for incendiary devices and terrorism and stuff.
All right. That'll do it for us this week. Appreciate y'all hopping on. Appreciate being here. Twos. You were rather clever this week. You had a couple of moments. If I was giving you a scorecard, probably 6 out of 10. I don't know.
That's highly generous. Thank you.
Folks,
that's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Sean.
We'll catch up to you next week, folks. Till then.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, popping, locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map, I stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the